But since our book on the divine inspiration of scriptures is not at present obtainable by our British and Australian readers, for we decline to handle it while the disparity between the pound and the dollar persists, and since the tides of skepticism and infidelity continue to advance and constitute such a solemn menace unto the young, we feel moved to make an effort to show how strong and how sure are the foundations on which the faith of the Christian rests. What we propose doing in this book, namely to make a serious attempt to assist some of those who have inhaled the poisonous fumes of infidelity and been left in a state of mental indecision concerning sacred things, is something quite different from the course we usually follow in our magazine, Studies in the Scriptures. In view of the bewilderment and uncertainty of many, and the shaken faith of others, it appears our duty to do so, and we trust our friends will make a point of reading this unto those of their children likely to need it, and that preachers will feel free to use portions in preparing special sermons or addresses for the young. Our principal object will be to set forth some of the numerous indications that the Bible is something far superior to any human production. But before doing that, we must seek to establish the existence of its divine author. The later chapters will be designed chiefly for preachers or older students of the Word, presenting, as they will, some of the rules which require to be heeded if the Scriptures are to be properly interpreted. And though their scope will go beyond the general title of Divine Revelation, yet they will complement and complete the earlier ones. Under our present title, then, we purpose to treat Deo Volenti, of that revelation which God has given, or that discovery which he makes of himself unto the sons of men. If we were writing a comprehensive and systematic treatise on the whole subject, we should devote a proportionate space unto the manifestations which God has made of himself, first in creation, or the external world, second in the moral nature, particularly the conscience of man, third in the controlling and shaping of human history by providence, fourth in his incarnate Son, fifth in the sacred Scriptures, sixth in the saving revelation which he makes of himself unto the souls of his regenerate people, and finally in the beatific vision, when we shall know as we are known. But instead, we shall deal more briefly with the first four, and concentrate chiefly upon the Scriptures, presenting some of the evidences of their divine authorship, then pointing out some of the principles which govern their right interpretation, and then the application which is to be made of their contents. This is a considerable task to essay, rendered the more difficult because we desire to hold the interest of, and, under God, make this book profitable unto a considerable variety of readers, young and old, believers and unbelievers. The present generation has, for the most part, been reared not only in an atmosphere of negative unbelief, but of hostile unbelief. They live in a world where materialism and skepticism are rampant and dominant. In the great majority of homes, the Sunday newspaper is the only thing read on the Lord's Day. Doubt as to moral and spiritual truth is distilled through a score of channels. Our seats of learning are hotbeds of agnosticism. Our literature, with rare exceptions, makes light of God and jokes about sacred things. The newspapers, the radio broadcast, public utterances, and private conversations are steadily but surely removing the foundations of righteousness and destroying what little faith in spiritual things still remain. The vast majority in the English-speaking world are totally ignorant of the contents of the Bible, know not that it is a divine revelation, yea, question whether there be any God at all. Yet modern skepticism is rarely candid, but is rather a refuge in which multitudes are sheltering from an accusing conscience. With such, we are not here concerned, for where a prejudiced mind and a cavilling spirit obtain, argument is useless, and we can but leave them unto the sovereign mercy of the Lord. Even those brought up in Christian homes are being corrupted by the paganism of modern education, are bewildered by the conflicting teaching.